talking right now about Rip Hamilton, bought out by the Detroit Pistons, and he's going to the Chicago Bulls. We've talked a lot about the fact that the two-guard spot was an area of need for the Chicago Bulls, with apologies to Keith Bogans and also Ronnie Brewer.
My fellow DeMatha Stagg, yes, sir.
But nevertheless, Rip Hamilton's going to be a nice upgrade at the two. DA, he feels like a perfect fit to me. And is it going to be a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal?
Sounds like 2 years. Sounds like 2 years. And it is a perfect fit, I think, because he does the things that they need. Perimeter scoring, which they needed. Somebody to take the load off of Derrick Rose in the fourth quarter, which they needed. And again, if you think about what Rip Hamilton does, and project about how you play, who you're going to play in the second round of the playoffs or maybe in the conference finals, whether it's a Boston or a Miami, Rip Hamilton for 4 quarters is going to run and run and run and run, and that means Dwayne Wade is going to have to run and run and run, and Ray Allen is going to have to run and run and run to keep up with him, and that is going to be where his value is. Constant movement, keeps the floor spread and open, and really makes somebody work to guard him at the defensive end. People will not be able to slump off of the Bulls two-guard anymore.
Listen, Rip Hamilton is a winner and a basketball player. And the most important part for me is, and I say this all the time, in basketball you don't win with the 5 best players. You win with the 5 players who play best together. It's a puzzle. Mm-hmm. His skill set really fits Derrick Rose, because he's not a guy that dominates the basketball to be effective. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's also 6'8". Sometimes that gets lost. Mm-hmm. Rip's a big guy. Mm-hmm. Rip can defend 2s and 3s in this league, so that gives you more versatility. Defensively, he gets it, because the championship team he played on in Detroit, that was a terrific defensive team, so he understands what it takes on that end to be a success. And so I think it creates a situation where Chicago is legitimately going to be a team that has a chance to come out of that Eastern Conference, and he could be that missing piece. Plus, if you can keep Bogans, because I'm a big Keith Bogans fan, maybe he's not a guy that you want out there 35 minutes a game, but I think he could be a part of the nucleus that's a championship caliber team.
Bogans was there for the opening day of practice, but it was, whoop, you can't come out here because you have signs. Those. And one of the guys who have really emerged in the early practices here has been Brewer. He's been simply outstanding in Chicago's practices. Now, to go back to Rip Hamilton, I'm kind of anxious to see which Rip Hamilton shows up this year, because if you base it on what took place last year, that was an ugly year.
Yeah.
Ugly year for Detroit. It was an ugly year for Rip Hamilton. He refused to go practice, got into it with the head coach. The coach loses his job. Rip now has been moved on, and I'd like to see him bounce back, because, there was so much good in his career that he did in helping the Pistons organization. It'd be nice if he can go out and people remember him as Rip Hamilton should be remembered.
Before they even signed him, Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, many of the players came out and said, we would love to have Rip. We could play with this guy tomorrow if we had to, and in fact they will.